Hello, you beautiful bastard, and welcome to my so-called show. And tonight's episode, and welcome to my so-called show. And tonight's episode on Bastardized Retrospectives of Miami Vice Season 1 is The Smugglers Blues, named and inspired by the song of the same name by Glenn Frey, who also makes a cameo, where the plot revolves around a string of smugglers who have been kidnapped, blackmailed, and killed. Castillo's former DEA partner, Ed Waters, suspects there's a leak and enlists in the help of Crockett and Tubbs to take on a dangerous, unsanctioned assignment in flushing out the leak by posing as smugglers in Colombia with the help of former Nampala turned smuggler Jimmy, played by the late, great Glenn Frey. And my God, what a fucking episode this was. I mean, definitely. We've been getting on some right bangers with this season one so lately, haven't we? It's we've had the Golden Triangle episode and part two, and now we've got this, which is a tad bit lighter, but at the same time still has enough great and intense moments to really make this episode worth watching. And it just feels so epic as well at the same time. There's this epic sense of adventure towards it. We've got the duo globetrotting to another country that's without any help from any of their resources because it's an unsanctioned mission, and you can feel the danger around every corner, especially when they're in probably one of the worst cities in Colombia, where it's all crime-ridden and full of corruption, everything. So yeah. And let me time to introduce my panel. Admiral Teague, how are you doing, man?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me. Another great episode of Miami Vice. Very enjoyable to watch. I got lost a little bit in the middle there, but it's a good episode, and it's great to be here. Hello from New York, where it's way too hot.
Yeah, and yeah, you look like you got a bit of a tan there and all, isn't it?
Yeah, I was out in the sun all week. I'm looking so much more Latino. Guys, hold on to your wallets. It's brought out something in my DNA. I might have to go do some graffiti later. I'm feeling very Hispanic today.
Yeah. And also introducing Lord Toxic. How are you doing, my friend? Are you there? All right, we'll move on to Kung Fu Hot Dog then. How are you doing, man?
It's the Smugglers Blues. I'm doing great.
Blues, yeah.
Hot seat once more.
And it's good to have you back as well. And how was E3, man?
It was absolute madness. The one time that had to drop was when we were going to do part 2 of Castillo's The Golden Triangle.
Yeah.
An absolute shame, but no, E3 was an absolute blast, man. Holy shit. The Gears of War stuff is great, although after this stream, I'm actually uploading a video poking fun at some of the over-budgeted assets of the game because they dropped a nuke today that it cost $400 million to make. For a game like that, I don't understand. I do understand, but I don't want to understand.
With all that money they're flushing down the drain with these fucking games, you thought they would have made Haley Atwell hot. I mean, Jesus. I saw that video, man, and Jesus Christ.
Have we maybe aged through her freshness date? I mean, Haley Atwell's in Captain America in what, 2014?
Yeah, maybe about 16 years ago. 16 years ago.
Yeah.
She's had 3 kids. I mean, we love Haley Atwell. She's beautiful.
She's
got
prime.
Big, gorgeous milkers, but I don't know if she's past her prime, but it is really weird that we now have a 47-year-old ingenue is sort of the norm in almost all movies these days. It's young women just aren't allowed to be sexy. Like Frances Pugh hit every branch in the ugly tree on the way down, but she's in every movie, and they tell us she's sexy. And then they make us look at her boobs.
Yeah, there's a ton of backlash against Microsoft at this at the moment, and they're just kind of putting their dampeners on. But the thing is, Cortana in Halo Campaign Evolved, how can you make that character ugly? Apparently, you can in the year of 2026. She looks hideous. Made a video on it. She's awful.
Oh, this is why I stick to all the games now. So yeah, Lord Toxic, he disappeared for a minute, but how are you doing, man?
Sorry, I don't know what it is about your silky smooth voice and getting ready to do this. Maybe it's the excitement about talking about this banger of an episode, but it makes me have to pre-game dump out of nowhere. So I just have to go run to the toilet.
Yeah, my voice says that. My voice says that all the time, man. That's my friends. So yeah, David Dredd and Gavin Unit and Cosmic Holder, and thank you for joining us. And please share this stream and leave a like and a comment on the rewatch if you get a chance. And if there's a hype button, please hype this up. It really helps the algorithm, and it seems to be doing a good job because these retrospectives are really getting my subs in. They really are a lot more than my other videos at the moment. So yeah, so of course I'm going to milk our Miami Vice a lot more. So, but you're right, this is an absolute banger of the episode. While it isn't as emotionally resonant as the Golden Triangle, there is still, it kind of feels like a Candy episode, except it's a very epic Candy episode because once again it feels very standalone, but at the same time it's it feels like a little mini movie as well. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on that one.
Yeah, I think they're all going to be affected by the events.
I definitely agree. It's one that stands out in my mind. I can remember Smugglers Blues, the video being on MTV at the time, and really getting into the song and that music video for Smugglers Blues. And if you haven't watched it in a while, you should give it a rewatch. It's very cinematic in and of itself. And then this episode, especially with what I've learned on getting ready for it, is one of the more cinematic episodes of season 1. I really feel like this is where we start to kind of get the template of what the show dynamic is going to become moving forward.
I mean, it's directed by Dave Starsky himself, Paul Michael Glazer. So what did you expect?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Well, I didn't know that until Admiral Teague hit me to that in the green room. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And his blocking, as I indicated, also in the green room, is just amazing. What they do with it's basically a story in 3 parts. You have the noirish element in the beginning, and then in the second, it is kind of like what Crockett describes. It's the Wild West, element into it, and then the third act is just the culmination of all of everybody trying to protect the other person coming to fruition at the end. You've got Gina wanting to protect Trudy, the guys wanting to protect Trudy, Crockett wanting to protect Tubbs, and what is Glenn Fry's character's name? Jimmy. Oh,
Jimmy.
Great name. I might write a book with a character named Jimmy in it. And then him ultimately breaking his own code to protect the boys. And awesome. Just really, really well done. I know Northern takes issue a little bit with some of the acting in it, and for good reason. But I
don't really take an issue with the acting. I just acknowledge that he's not the greatest actor, but he puts a lot into the role. And I don't mind bad actors if they bring a lot of.
He wasn't terrible by any means of the imagination. He was in Let's Get Harry, wasn't he?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah,
so,
Glenn Fry was.
I didn't know that. Yeah, he was. Yeah, it's quite a cast.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Hey, Lance, how you doing?
Hey,
if you get for Dear Raven, and feel free to come on in, and you're always welcome.
Well, Lance is just saying hi and being nice because he's about to go live and interview somebody right now while you're live.
Yeah, I always want to fucking stream. Where are you?
I love Kung Fu. I love Kung Fu, but he buys a $5 pair of shades from a guy on the street and gets a compliment from Lance, and I throw down $200 for Ray-Bans and no one notices. Thanks a lot, buddy.
It's that tribalism among them Brits, man. You can't. I think your shades look fire as fuck, bro.
No, they're nice.
I wore them for Miami Vice.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing a pair of Ray-Bans myself. I'm cheap off vintage though. Cheap off vintage.
See, we should all just be rocking our shades during the stream. That's what we should be doing.
It's Miami Vice, right? Then whenever something important happens, like when we get to a plot point, everyone can be like,
yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah, like someone's just blown up your fucking fake Ferrari.
And you've got 2 real ones as a payoff. It's like, that's the best insurance deal of all time.
Teague
wants you get to fire an RPG at the car and blow it apart, but you get 2 new ones.
Teague wants us all to pull a David Caruso every time there's a major, but be like, it looked like these guys were suffering a bit of smuggler's blues.
Yeah! Bow, 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 bow. Yeah. Let's just say this is a much better cop show than that one, and they would have done well to have harvested some DNA from Miami Vice for NCIS Orlando or whatever the hell it was.
I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I'll tell you what, every fucking CSI show is a big pile of shit. That's not how cop work is done. No one's looking for fucking microfibers. It's done because someone snitches on somebody. Actually, Miami Vice is a lot closer to how real police work happens than fucking any of the CSIs put together. I'll
Well, the
stand.
CSIs are supposed to be cold case guys who are picking up pieces of garbage cases, so it would have to be high profile. You're right. Like only the OJ team had people like the NCIS people running around with like adhesive tape pulling fibers off of
Yeah,
stuff
they
and
blew
things like
they
that.
blew that case just because people didn't like racism. So
But
I mean,
well, they also probably didn't handle the evidence right. And although I do think he was guilty, I think everyone's probably a little better off because of how that case went as far as the justice system. I hate to say it. My apologies to the Goldman and Brown families.
But hey, look, in The Equalizer, in the first 2 seasons especially, Edward Woodward turning up as Robert McCall, going into a precinct, actually having real confrontations with police chiefs that actually were on his side but had to pretend they didn't like his actions. So I miss those days, do you know what I mean? So again, Lord Toxic, completely agree with you as well, Teague, that again, this is proper police work. The CSI stuff, the only thing I liked about that was the Roger Daltrey vocals from The Who.
Yep.
Wow.
That's why I had to put my scream in there for you.
He is swaggering on that.
Yeah, it seems that
microphone. I'm like, I used to have that mic. Damn.
yeah,
Down,
it does seem like,
down.
SM
it
57.
does seem like the CSIs are more style over substance, while this has a lot of style, yet there's still enough substance to justify.
Absolutely. Michael Mann,
CSI
what
was a
you
little.
did, you did it well, dude.
CSI was NCIS was a little too far removed, and so were the CSIs. So just like it was too cold, too clinical. The reenactment at the end was not enough to emotionally invest people. And even though it lasted like 8 years, that's not very good in the crime and police field where you've got Law and Order SVU at 30 years, Law and Order Prime at 26 seasons combined. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
Yeah, Blue Bloods 16 seasons going into another season for
Blue Bloods.
I like
16,
all right.
14,
I
16.
like Blue Bloods. I got to admit, I do like Blue Bloods. I
good
hate
show.
that. I mean, it's
got
it's
Tom
more
Selleck.
believable.
Come on.
Yeah,
No,
it's
Tom Selleck is the Don, but I'm surprised it lasted that long.
The only thing that's not believable about Blue Bloods, and maybe they wrote themselves into this corner, but for the last 2 seasons, every episode involved a hostage situation in a police precinct with some cop's gun who got taken away. And I was just like, we have the most incompetent police department in New York. Let's disarm the cops right now. Super soakers are the way to go. They cannot handle these guns. And it's like Donnie Wahlberg has just killed like the 11th person in like 11 episodes. And you're like,
He's in
he
that.
wasn't.
Jesus.
Yeah, you're like, he's not this dangerous in Band of Brothers where he's trying to kill people.
Yeah. Does every episode conclude with them eating dinner around the table?
Yeah. It starts and ends with that, which can be contrived.
Oh, I'm waiting for the new Rockford Files series to come out with Boreanaz. If he lets me down with that one, I'm going to go on a violent rampage on YouTube. I really am.
Yeah, I hope
I trust
people go.
Boreans, but I don't know who's writing it. Like, you could screw that one up if instead of his dad being his best friend, it's his mom, and she keeps his life together for him instead of the other way around.
Relate to that, actually. That'll be fine. I agree with that. That should be good. I wouldn't mind that twist.
So, right, we're going to start with Smugglers Blues then. So we'll start at the beginning, obviously, and go for the end. And then once we finish, we go through our favourite regular character, favourite guest character, favourite quote, a favourite music moment, favourite outfit, and overall rating. So, yeah. So the plot is basically, you know, there's surveilling some kind of smuggling drop that's been going on for quite a while, and then they aren't out to arrest him or anything. They're just trying to get up whatever evidence they can. But then Crockett hears a cigarette butt because, you know, he's a boat expert. He's the boat guy, isn't he? He knows that stuff.
Yeah, what is it about the cigarette he hears? That was unclear. Does he hear the lighter being cracked up, or does he hear like the drawer of the cigarette and the burning tobacco? That's pretty good for 80s
Yeah, I think
analog.
he hears the femme fatale smoking the boat. I don't know for some reason. Maybe that's it. I don't know, but,
he had the most sensitive 1980s analog microphone of all time. It's not even digital. It's a diaphragm mic like they had in Little House on the Prairie. Wow.
Yeah, those are the best mics.
Yeah. And I don't even know if the subtitles are actually on the DVD version because
No, they are.
Yeah. So he's obviously rambling about he's a family, blah blah blah. It sounds very incoherent, but you found out later as well. So he makes this drop, but he's not collecting any cash. So they follow him, and they follow him all the way to this boat where someone has apparently been kidnapped. He goes in, and it blows up. And Jesus Christ, only a fucking few seconds in describing the plot, and we're and the shit is kicked off already. So, and then we get a little hint of the bad guy coming later, and he's like, yeah, well, this stuff happens all the time. These kids have been killing each other since the Capone days. It's politics of the contraband. And it's like, yeah, well, it's in New York or Chicago, and Capone's guy. And Sonny calls him out for his apathetic attitude towards it. It's like the contraband doesn't require killing the kids. What's the matter with you? You sound like a fascist. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was a great line. This is when we
yeah.
hit the song. This is when we hit the song, right? This is when we go to the opening, and then this is the next scene. And I have an important note. John Deal's beard is now showing us that the other episodes had to be out of sequence. He's got about 4 weeks growth.
I was guessing that fucking because Trudy's hair's got that sort of like slick curls, hasn't she? Instead of that big.
Yeah, she's styled back a little bit too.
Yeah.
You know what? This show has sharpened the detective skills of the panel. I have become such a good Miami Vice observer. I am like watching John Deal for any hint of beard growth. It's like, all right, 5 o'clock shadow. We're definitely out of production order now.
We're coming for you, Michael, man. We're coming for you over here on this channel.
But this just proves my theory that they pulled the plug on the show for a little while and went with different scripts with higher production value and more money, and that's why it's a little uneven. And we get really well-made episodes like this one with guerrilla filmmaking like we saw 2 weeks ago.
Good
yeah,
point.
it does also feel like, okay, maybe we've got a few heavy episodes. We'll have to switch them around, give us a little bit of a lighter episode or a bit more of an epic episode, a shit light episode, and a really good dark episode after that. So I get why the sequences are sort of out of order, but I like the fact that you barely see this agent, not really the bad guy behind this all, but because he's kind of just, you see a couple of shots on his face and he's just out, and he's mostly kind of a little bit more in the distance, so he's a bit more obscure to sort of like make him seem like a nobody, which okay, I kind of found that a little bit clever. You know, shame we didn't see a little bit more of him, little more hints of him, but that's all right. I mean, it's a 48 minutes episode. You know, you kind of got to go with what you got. So obviously,
you know what? Being smart enough to stay on the edge and be the sort of parasitical force that he is, you know, trying to siphon off some of the money and drugs from the operations, showed him to be a more formidable criminal. It wasn't as dramatic as some mustache twirling moment. We actually saved stuff like that for Glenn Fry, but because he never mustache twirls, but he's there at the edge of the investigation, like, he is perfectly placed to like cause the mischief he does, and he shows that he's a cagey enough criminal. It matches what he does, so I feel it's consistent. I like that.
So he's being very smart. He's keeping in the background, isn't he? But he's kind of almost giving himself away a tad bit just by being very sort of like almost like sociopathic towards the whole ordeals. But we learn that the guy who got blown up was Morales, and he's paralyzed from the waist down, and is a smuggler because, yeah, I mean, they make the best victims. They're not going to go to the cops' alley. So he's playing it very smart, isn't he, in a way? So Castillo gets onto the phone. They meet in this shithole that looks like one of the neighbors' houses when they used to live down Anlaby Road. And this is where we meet Ed Waters, played by Richard Jenkins, and the guy still looks like he wishes he was a T-Rex, but he's still he's hanging in there. He's hanging in there. He is.
You're a human man. You can't be a T-Rex.
No, he's rocking that touch very well, man.
I know.
It looks good. Chameleon here.
Yeah, even then he looked fucking old though, didn't he? You
Yeah.
see him in that movie
Northern.
with
Don't get me started. I messaged Northern last night while I was drinking after work, and I rewatched Beverly Hills Cop and found out Taggart's fucking 12 years younger than me in that fucking movie. Oh my god, that's hard to deal with. But hey, we need to start a little. Do you want to start like a little tally of how many times Miami Vice 2006 rips off plot points from this fucking episode? Because we're already at 2.
I'll let you do that one. I'll let you do that one. Yeah, because
you can remember that movie. I couldn't get out of there fast.
Be nice.
It was
be
a
nice.
Mess. I
be
hated
nice.
I like that movie. I guess you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only a little bit more familiar with it because I did a little stream with him and Critter a couple months back, and you know, we have our differences on it. You know, he likes it more than I do. I hate it more than he does. Well, I don't really hate it. It just didn't do a lot for me the way it did with Toxic. But that's the thing. That's why we like talking shit about movies, because there's no echo chamber. You know, something I hate, I don't care. That's it.
And we can live with each other's
I
different
know.
takes. I was so happy to walk into that movie theater, so excited to see a Miami Vice movie. And what we found out was they're whiffing in several ways, and you realize, how did these guys not understand that the Miami Vice world has to be set in the 80s? So I have a lot of
Correct.
good feelings about the
Correct.
next movie called Miami Vice 85. That is a very bright way to send the
Yes.
absolute correct message. My enthusiasm level and the little progress bar of Admiral Teague's enthusiasm increased somewhat with that one.
Yeah. No, I in fact, it's funny you say that because that was pretty much my whole point. I will say this, Northern. I when we did that stream, I probably would have had a bit of a lesser opinion of Miami Vice 2006 had I remembered how much they rip off Smugglers Blues for their plot points. But I'll go, if you give me an opportunity at the end, I'll summarize it real quickly for you.
Well,
Yeah,
Mike
we can do
is just
that, yeah.
following the Benny Hill protocol. He's just recycling the stuff that he thinks audiences have forgotten about before, but is spicing them up with each coming year. That's what it
For
is.
modern audiences.
That's right, baby.
Could we have replaced the Smugglers Blues song with the Benny Hill song? Because I fucking hate the Smugglers Blues. It makes me want
Really? You hate the Smugglers
Really?
Blues song? Holy
Right.
shit, man.
absolutely despise it. It is the worst.
Wow.
Like, it is such a compromise between musical styles. If you want to do it now or at the end of the show, take your pick. I have a lot
No,
to
we'll
say.
do it at the end of the show because
Fuck that song.
I gotta disagree, man. But this is where the plot comes in as well. Where this has been happening a lot, and he knows that this is a link as well because every one of these smugglers was already under investigation. They had a jacket on them, so the only way they can try and flush out this leak, they still don't know whether it's the DEA or the FBI or the police themselves. So they need Crockett and Tubbs to pose as smugglers in Colombia, and the mission is going to be unsanctioned. No resources, no backup from any agencies whatsoever, and Trudy has to be the wife of Tubbs, who is also posing as Morales' cousin. And that's a really risky thing as well because it's the only way they can flush out the leak, isn't it? So yes, things go wrong and people fucking die. It's going to be on his ass and maybe Castillo's and as well. I mean, this is like disciplinary action, fucking neglect, misconduct. Who knows? I mean, that is he's taking a big gamble here on these two to make it through, but.
They can't call for backup. Their own guys are out to get them. They've been APB'd by their own dudes, so they're really in trouble. Yeah, they're totally out there.
He's desperate, isn't he? So, but once again, it raises the stakes as well. It puts the characters in danger, and it's always cool when you see characters in over their heads but forced to adapt and pull through. So the only way they have to sort of deal with customs and transport themselves, and they've got 3 million to do the buys, get the transport there and back, yada yada yada. So Tubbs kind of goes to one of the only people he knows who could probably find information on transport, and that's this fucking junkie who doesn't know him, but he's so zonked out of his head that he can manipulate him to think, hey, we're good buddies. Remember that thing from last night? And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember. I don't, but I remember anyway because I'm so fucking high. And everyone's just out of their fucking tits on this one. You got this woman eating this rib, I think, and she's dancing around, and it's just bizarre. I love it.
Yeah, what's really funny, I used to go to a nightclub called Sinatra's back in the 80s, and the interior of that club is very similar to what I saw here. So very balls on accurate, whoever did the set design. Or maybe no set design, maybe they walked into an actual nightclub.
Yeah, I know. They
I
just
feel
decided
that
to
one,
just
yeah.
shoot it anyway. And this guy wasn't an actor; he was just a random fucking truck junkie who got into the shot and decided to fucking roll with it.
It was good.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. But obviously, Switek comes in with Zito, pretending it's a raid. They get him out, and it's like, "Hey, we totally got you out of this raid that we weren't a part of. So you could get me some information on a plane, so I can smuggle some shit." And it's like, "I'll get you to Jimmy." Yes.
If I had any complaints about this episode, that's probably this scene, because this is really kind of telegraphed and ham-handed a little bit. It's like, dude, you didn't need to do all this shit. You could have just fucking, this guy was so high, you could have just told him that's what happened. Like,
That was, I'm
yeah.
with you. And the drugs are magic, right? He's magically high. He's hallucinated that he knows them. He's hallucinating things he doesn't know.
Yeah, it's really, this is one of the done better for modern audiences thing they did for 2006 Miami Vice, because in that one they just had leverage on one of the informants and just decided, hey, you're gonna, because that's what they do. That's what cops do. They don't need it,
that was smarter. That was, but I think they wanted to give the episode a little bit of levity because they knew they were putting these characters in an intense situation. That's probably why I'm guessing they did it. But and plus, you always got to see Switek and Zito raiding, them while Sonny and Rick pretend to be people who are part of the drug crowd and pretend to be arrested, that kind of thing. But the movie does do that a bit smarter because just get some information on a fucking snitch and that's it,
Right. You just say, listen, you're gonna vouch for us and we're gonna look the other way, blah blah blah. I mean, that's maybe the only good line Trudy's character has in the 2006 movie. It's like, why are you making me do all of this stuff for you guys? Like, because you live a life of crime, baby. That's like actually like one of the cool scenes. And then they just fucking bed down in the guy's fucking apartment and shit like that, which I thought was even better. This scene in here just kind of, it pulled me out of the episode a little bit. And I was like, this is very kind of ham-fisted right here. But it's okay. If that's the worst complaint of it, then it's not that serious.
Yeah, I mean, it does redeem itself once we head, because it cuts straight to the Crockett and Tubbs at the airport. I'll call it, I use the term loosely, airport, because there's just this fucking hut with a plane in, and then you got Glenn
Airstrip,
that's it, yeah. And he's just wielding this guitar, just sort of like killing off time.
Which was very clever, by the way, because I thought, is that a Jan Hammer score of Glenn Frey? And suddenly you realize as the camera pans up, he's actually playing the guitar. And I thought, that gets me every time. It's so cool. And by the way, great freeze frame here, like the Jay Gars band, because he looks so much like Jay Leno. If Jay Leno was in this role without Pat Morita, it would have been even more hilarious.
Yeah, we got to have him. It's like, they're gonna come back with the violence. I hate violence. We gotta hit us. We hit the back. Okay.
God bless you, Glenn.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. And I just love how he just as Crockett is walking up halfway up the stairs, Glenn just slides down the pole, and Crockett's just like, for fuck's sake, and just walks back down again. All they're trying to do stuff here.
Yeah, he's got his Ghostbusters drug dealer set up where he's like, hanging out, playing a guitar that Glenn Frey would never have. Is it the same guitar that that Nuggy was playing a couple of weeks ago, upside down and backwards? It's a super radically shaped 80s guitar with his back turned so that we don't see the brand name, so that we don't endorse anybody. We have this great, well-known, widely regarded, highly praised guitar player, and when he's playing guitar, we have his back turned, and he's playing a guitar that's so radical that even Prince might have been like, give this to the dude who dresses up like the ninja in my band because it's too freaking wild for me. Okay? It's the most, like, Glenn Frey probably had something along the lines of, if you know guitars, friends, like a 1957 Telecaster or something that beautiful and rare that he could have been playing that would have loaned something to this. But instead, and we would have loved to have seen his fret hand. So instead, his back is turned. It is an enjoyable little rhythm that he's playing. He's not playing any leads. It's rhythm. It shows what he is, a rhythm guitar player. And it was a great introduction to the character and appropriate music for that. But the scene was filmed weird.
And he does, and once again, he brings a lot of personality to this role. I mean, when they're discussing the details, it's like they're very vague. When it's like, okay, you don't tell me your business, I don't hear no lies. So he's got a way with words as well. He's very poetic. He's definitely playing is more like a Vietnam hippie who's probably wanted a career as a musician before he went to Nam, but then he didn't kind of get that because he became a pilot and that's all. And somehow it never panned out for him in the music business. But he still loves to jam, man. He still loves to feel the spirit of the music. It's so spiritual when you hear those guitar riffs and you kind of go into another zone, man. Puts me in the zone. So that's how he's playing this role.
Respect between Don Johnson and Frey as well, because obviously Johnson was a budding musician, wasn't he? So
yeah, he's
budding singer
to be in one of the greatest soft rock bands ever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there
was some debate still. Honestly, they didn't know what to call the Eagles yet, And one of the things that was really causing a lot of controversy in America at this point was they were calling them the American Rolling Stones, and everyone was scoffing at, laughing, and out loud at, and pointing fingers at them, saying, "How dare you say that to sell your greatest hits record?" They also had the highest selling album of all time. However, it's a cheat. It's not a studio album. It's the entire career of the Eagles' greatest hits on one record. So that's not real. And if there's an American Rolling Stones, it's a band that people may or may not have heard of called the Allman Brothers. It's not the Eagles. I'm
going to counter-argue that one. It's the New York Dolls, Dave Johannesson. They're more than the American Rolling Stones.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I've seen David Johansen live before he passed away. He was absolutely fantastic. You're absolutely right. The thing is, that career is so small. We're talking about on scale, impact, and their pop presence. That's the way that I don't think anyone ever tried to say they had the image of them, but they did try to say they had the musicality. And with the New York Dolls, isn't it just Exile on Main Street Stones with nothing else, right? We're not doing the other Stone stuff.
No, it is what you was pointed out there. Absolutely. But
the Eagles are trying to be the whole thing.
Like Mick Jagger, it's hilarious.
I love Mick Jagger. He's one of my favorite musicians of all time and a genius.
Hey, Jay Leno, when are you coming back on TV, buddy?
Exactly. He looks so much
hey,
like him.
PB, how you doing? Yeah.
Hi, PB. He's good to see you.
Yeah. So one
great
thing
shirt, by the way, too. He looks great.
Yeah, he looks fucking good. He's like down dressed, but he kind of looks comfortable. But he looks like the type of guy that would who used to be in the army and it's his way of dressing like Miami, or like while still sort of retaining his sort of like carefree, laid back look as well. So
he saw way worse than that growing up in Michigan, for sure. I mean, come on, he's from America's most violent city, the murder capital of our country for 60 years.
He's rocking double as well.
He's also kind of like a hippie Han Solo in a way, isn't he? He's a smuggler and he's out for number one. He's not really. He doesn't really care about anyone else. He likes to stay away from other people as possible. He loves planes more than people. He does what he does. He smuggles in, but he also he's not a big fan of violence as well. He's seen enough of it, and he wants to just do his job and keep his head down as much as he can. But he still knows the risks of the job. He still knows he could get killed, no matter how safe he plays it, as we see later. And like he says, he's I'm not John Wayne. I ain't got an S on my chest, and I don't like violence. Okay, and yeah, if shit goes down, then he's out of there. So they do the price 20.
That's pretty rich, by the way, coming from a helicopter attack pilot from Vietnam. It's like, I don't like violence. I've only leveled like 60 small villages with napalm attacks.
Yeah. I think that's why he hates it now. I think before he didn't really think anything about it until he saw the devastation of what he did.
I have a different take. I have a different take on it. I think he's saying these things because he wants them to be true, but I think really he does like being in a dangerous business, because it's not like he couldn't have become a commercial pilot or something like that. He wants to do this kind of shit because he wants to do things a little bit like me. Like I could work for a million other different kind of companies doing a bunch of different stuff, but at the end of the day, I get into security work because I like the rush that it gives me when somebody gets out of pocket and something has to go on. I like the idea of being able to carry weapons and shit like that. And I might say like, I'm getting too old for this shit. But at the same time, I think you kind of want it. Maybe you want to convince yourself. So if you tell other people maybe it talks it into, into reality. I think that's it, because, he says these things, but he doesn't really back them up a lot. This kind of, a rogue, brigand type mentality he seems to project. He doesn't really believe that, because as we're going to find out in the episode, he kind of he doubles back on it. Now you could just say that's a character arc, but I kind of see it as like, as soon as he's saying, nah, man, I don't like violence, but yet he's got an SMG on his hip at any given moment. You know what I'm saying? So it just, I don't know, man.
And he's pushing to delete the prisoners too. He's like, we can't let these guys live, Sonny. Come on.
Kind of got the idea that he doesn't like it, but he knows he has to. Because he's right. They are going to come back for him, and it's going to cause more trouble. So they have to fucking kill him. And I'm kind of with him on that. But that is a good look. That is another good little take, though. And once again, I like there's a little bit of ambiguity to his character, and obviously, So obviously they get the job set off. Is like, we just tell you when and when. It's like, well, let's go. So he wants to get on the job now, doesn't he? I mean, it's a lot of fucking money. Of course, he wants to get paid. So they take Trudy to the motel to lie low in the hopes of flushing out the leak and give her a homing device, which is really fucking dangerous. You'd have thought they would have one Castillo as some guy keeping watching or being incognito, but no, it's once again high risk job, and we get a little setup for Tubbs hiding the gun under the coupe, and then we meet Wavy Davy, who's like proper fucking acting suspicious. It's like, hey, you're Morales' cousin, that you, and then they don't like the fact he's asking questions. But
I know this guy, by the way. This guy did a lot of 80s TV. Is he? What show?
Oh, he's everywhere, man.
He does a lot. He probably took on the Equalizer and some other people and got messed up by them too.
I think he was in one of the episodes.
Yeah, he also fucking stole Cameron's car in Ferris Bueller and returned it with all the fucking
That's who it is. Yes, it's the valet from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Good job, Northern, on the research. Guys, when you come here, you just don't get Miami Vice. You get the full slice of 80s pop culture from our friend. Hit the like and follow.
Yeah, once again, we get a little bit more Glenn Frey just showing off a little bit more of his character. He's kind of got this thing that's probably he got cheap, but he still has managed to make it work so far, and he still seems to love it more than any other fancy plane. And let me try and get the land.
It's a World War II Dakota, the war that the plane that may have arguably won the war by delivering so many supplies, keeping a couple of war fronts alive, and definitely was of extreme value in things like Operation Market Garden, the brainchild of British general and genius, I guess. Montgomery.
Bridge Too Far. Fucking hell, yeah.
Bridge Too Far. These are your Bridge Too Far planes. These are the glider towing planes. These are your workhorse cargo planes of World War II. So the thing to remember here is planes can have thousands of flight hours if you keep switching things out, maybe tens of thousands. There are B-52s still in the air. This is newer than those are then. So what is this, 1985? It's a plane from, say, so it's a 40-year-old plane, no big deal. But it does show, like, an appreciation for vintage stuff that I would have liked to have seen. Like, why couldn't he have pulled out, like, his $20,000 Les Paul guitar to really wow us all, with a minute of guitar prawn?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that one question.
We get aviation prawn, though. This is great aviation prawn. If you love classic planes.
I was just waiting for him to tell Crockett and Tubbs, she may not look like much, boys, but she's got it where it counts.
She can fly the Midway run in less than 3 parsecs.
Yeah, I love what's that line he says? Despite it being a lemon, but like a cow, she runs like a stallion. And that makes no fucking sense, but I don't care.
If you know the plane, it almost makes sense, because what happens was we cranked these out. We had the design before the war, but we super cranked them out during the war because we absolutely need air transport. We're going to try to win the war that way. So they were making like a few of them a day, just like rolling them off the assembly line, and you could upgrade them and fix them with minimal aviation mechanic skill. They were made to operate in every environment. They didn't have the greatest flight ceiling, so if he had upgraded the engines and swapped that out, advanced avionics, this thing is like the Falcon. When you go into the Falcon, if you notice in the cockpit, there's 3 different eras of gear. He's got his original gear down by the original control panel, and then there's stuff like modded all around. So I think that's what the deal is with this plane.
Yeah, he looks like the kind of guy who could probably mod his plane up a little bit, just with bits of scrap as well. He seems like a very resourceful guy, and this is, I can't believe I never noticed this, but Crockett seems to have a bit of a fear of flying, doesn't he? As soon as Glenn Frey's like, better pack your parachute because we're getting off the ground. And Crockett looks real nervous here, and Tubbs is like, haha, you're scared to fly, you pussy.
Did they maybe cut a scene where this guy who seems dedicated to being a drug smuggler maybe did some drugs before he took off because it was too controversial?
I won't be
because
surprised.
This guy is the most clean living drug dealer we've ever met. He's like, no, nothing but fruit juice and exercise for me. The drugs just fuels my lifestyle of being able to deliver more drugs. It doesn't make sense why he does what he does.
We do see him pop pills with beer, so yeah, that's a high possibility there. It's like, so
I think those are psych pills from Nam.
Yeah. So these, once again, a little bit of a rip off from Miami Vice ripped off from this episode where they go into this little safe house, totally, and they
You
have
mean
to
the movie?
wait. And this is where they meet this Gracio, if I'm pronouncing his name right. And Top Max the fucking tops. He's handling it well, isn't he? He's not letting Gracio fucking try and unfazed him or try and manipulate him or get the upper hand. He's playing hardball on negotiations here with the price. He's trying. Gracio is saying, I only do it for like 30K, 22. I'm giving it away. It's like, no, 25. Our final offer. You want to fuck around? I'll wait. But time is money. And then
I just want to point out the unstable drug market. Wasn't it 70,000 a key about 5 episodes back? But
yeah,
this was a fantastic dramatic sequence for Philip Michael Thomas. He a lot of great acting, especially in the eyes, a lot of intensity. I believe for a moment here and there he does a couple of voices that is in character, but in character with the knowledge that he's doing it sarcastically. And I thought he played it really well. I thought this was one of the best dramatic sequences of the entire show. I thought he was great in this. And he's alone, so it's even more impressive.
Yeah. Kung Fu Hot Dog, was you trying to say something?
No, the only thing I was going to say is that when you see the writing that's gone into this episode, like Glenn Frey, the character he's playing, you can only do that from experience. So whoever wrote this, obviously were basing it on real life people that actually have like an airstrip where they still might do these things on the side, but they don't tell anybody.
Yeah, but then again, he was in a rock band, so they were around people who sell drugs, and who knows, maybe he did have some experience with someone similar, or he knew a few Vietnam vets who were basically a little bit like he modeled the character on. That's what I'm guessing. Anyway.
That's the whole point of why I said it.
If the angelic drummer from U2 can get caught with, 17 pounds of marijuana in the trunk of his car in Canada, anybody could maybe do a little bit too much, go a bit too far in a few places.
Most rock stars do fucking so much. I mean, that's why most of them look like they were 80 by the time they reached 25. So, yeah. And while most of them died at 27.
Doing pretty good, right? He's relevant for about 12 years at this point, and he looks fine.
So yeah, they got this woman harassing him, and he's playing the asshole who's like, I don't care, fuck off. And then they come by these bandits, so and a big confrontation happens.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's actually Philip Michael Thomas doing this stunt, because I had to pause it so many times, and it looks like it might be him.
Yeah, some of it's him.
That's a really good stunt.
We both watched this one a lot. This was a great stunt. They're trying to get their action scenes together. It falls apart later in the cohesion, but that stunt's great.
Yeah, honestly, I can't believe I didn't try and notice if that was a stuntman or not. But he does a good job of just sort of flanking him. I'm rolling over the car like Starsky and Hutch. So Michael Glaze is sort of like
right, makes sense.
Yeah, so he's giving us a nice little bit of a call back there, and but then Glenn Frey comes over. He's like, kick this guy over here. We need to slow them, otherwise. They get to drop on us, we get to drop back, okay? Because if they don't come back to us in our face, and there'll be violence. And I don't like violence. Yeah, and these guys are praying. They know they're about to get fucking capped. It's
good location as well. Wherever they shot this in Miami, really good shot.
Yeah, is it really in Miami, or is it in some place in Miami that's meant to look like Colombia?
I don't think they'll be able to fly the cast and crew out to another remote location for the sake of realism. It's obviously like an undiscovered part of Miami. Don't forget, Miami back in the 80s was still not on the map yet until this show came out. So really, like any sort of undiscoverable dive, hey, we're just going to use this. No one's going to know any difference. So that's why it stood out to me.
That sounds about right.
Within about 2 hours of Miami, you also have 3 distinctly different biomes or whatever you want to call it. There is those swamps that we continuously revisit that they swamp out for the Everglades are right there. There are some outlying islands and beaches at the edge of the Atlantic that look just like the Keys. So within 2 hours of Miami, you have everything Florida has to offer as far as the way it looks. You even have gator-infested swamps.
Yeah, so the police come over, they arrest Tubbs, and Sonny is kind of forced to leave him behind, even though he's not too happy about it. And because Glenn Frey puts a gun to his face and says, "Listen, this happens, man. This is what happens." So they had in. And yeah, this is where they start to bond a little bit as well. And it's like,
I
I've
didn't
seen
realize
stuff happen before, you know, that's why I only prefer to fly the planes. I know it happens in the city, and he kind of gives his reason why he has been a little bit more out for number one. You know, he was a Vietnam veteran. He's lost too many friends to the point where he doesn't want to get too close to anyone else for the risk of having that kind of pain again. But then Sonny just says, yeah, well, I can't leave this one behind. And I love how Glenn Frey kind of nods in agreement as well. Like, yeah, like he's kind of reignited something in him a little bit.
I didn't realize that Crockett was wearing a linen jacket because the shot before, it's all creased at the back and it looks like a linen crease. So I read, I think that's a linen jacket. It might be because they crease up a lot like that. But
it's pulling off. It's one of his better jackets as well.
Yeah, the whole outfit is rocking, man. It's great.
Yeah, it looks very tailored, but at the same time, it still looks loose enough to be breathable too.
Are those pants white or are they salmon?
The pants are white. They look white. I think
they're white. I thought they were white as well, actually. Blu-ray, the Blu-ray of this series is great because it really brings out the colors. So anybody says, "Oh, don't buy the Blu-ray," no, the Blu-ray is the best way to watch this series all over again.
Yeah, because you see this copy now. This has probably been taken from the old VHS copies because it looks a little bit more dark and grainier, doesn't it? And the colors are a little bit more washed out. But he figures that these are street bandits, and once again, you get a little bit of hints on what this kind of city is all about. You know, it's how much of a fucking wasteland it is. He calls it Dodge City, 1985. You know, so it's Wild West, isn't it? A lawless town. So yeah, now Tubbs has been left even more vulnerable now. He's kind of stripped half naked. He's got this crooked copper who's like saying, "Hey, you on this? You've been done for smuggling, battery, murder, and releasing a song called Just the Way I Planned It, which probably might be the worst crime you ever committed out of all of these. So we're going to arrest you."
Plus you betrayed your partner in Vice City, Grand Theft Auto. So definitely you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hate how he just fucking turned into a traitor out of nowhere. It's like he seems like a real cool character, and all of a sudden, halfway through that game, he turns into a whiny bitch. And God, what a waste of Michael Phillip Thompson. It really was. But
it's the
hey, I'm doing
cop trope.
Hey,
hello. It's a common cop trope where they have the informant do a heel turn, but it wasn't well executed here.
Yeah. So obviously, because they think he's Morales' cousin, they let him in as long as they get a little bit of piece of the action sometime in the future deals. So yeah, they're reunited in their safe house, and it's all been trashed, everything by the cops as well. And it's like, oh well, we need to do a sample with Garcia, and the chief of police has told us that all we have to do is wait. It's like, yeah, well, while we're there, why don't we call room service? So. Yeah, and I love how they fucking just have no fucks given as well. It's like, you sent the police on us, and you know what? We're not going to play nice. We're going to go fucking hardball and, proper crazy psychopaths on your ass. You know, we're going to blow that cock right out of you. And yeah, definitely was ripped off in Miami Vice 2006, except they used the grenade, didn't they?
Yeah. Stop stealing my thunder, bro.
All right. I'll let you get the next. I'll let you get the others now. Okay. But it's once again, he's kind of like justifying it, saying, "Well, I had to know if you're legit, and blah blah blah, and all that lot." But you can tell he's a fucking asshole who doesn't do his deals legitimately. He's willing to fuck off at everyone who does a deal with him for his own greed, and I think the name is of the actor that's trying to get him up. It's Sanchez something, but. He's kind of a generic, drug dealer of the week kind of character, but he still manages to play it with some gravitas. But what are your thoughts on this character, though?
He's a little bit better than the standard villain of the week, but not as good as some of the other ones that come into like the 2 and 3-parter type situation. Obviously, the best being the guy that the hitman that wound up killing the Miami-Dade cops, and then gets released accidentally by Crockett, and then they have to have a tete-a-tete later on. So he's somewhere in between that, probably, for me. Again, his repurposed version is much better in the 2006 remake, but not bad, not a bad villain, not bad.
Yeah, I forget the actor's name in the 2006, but he's always good. Every time I've seen him in something, he's good as well. And I've only just realized he's in Carlito's Way as well, but he's really young. He's like the guy who tries to do the deal at the snooker club and gets his throat cut. It's but
he's also
really
ironically he appears in a Dennis Lehane made feature called The Drop with Tom Hardy. He plays a cop. He plays a cop, and also the chick that plays Gina in the Miami Vice remake is also a cop in that, and they're actually in a little bit of a affair. So great book, great film if you get a chance.
Yeah, and PB is kind of referencing the weird sort of dancing as well. Yeah, they're all high as kites here, aren't they? It's it feels very sort of like surreal and almost like they're in a nightmare that they need to escape quickly, don't they? But they do the negotiation again, and this time they manage to get him to comply, and they discuss the deal as well. Which is not too hard as well, since they're holding fucking guns on him, and if they fucking get killed, then they can't do any deal. So he does that line as well. How can we see the deal when our eyes are closed? So
again, ripped off to good purpose in 2006, except it's in the reverse. The Tubbs character says it in 2006, where he says, we could all close each other's eyes real fast, but then nobody makes no money.
Yeah, good line as well. And once again, he delivers it with some kind of like some kind of authoritative presence as well.
Yeah, very gravitas.
Yeah, and I love how they fucking hand the Coke as well to sample, and it's in an M, compliments of your family. And so he does the sample as well, and he's like, okay, this is how the deal goes. We get 2 cars, okay? You bring the car with the Coke, I bring the car with the money, we do the exchange, blah, blah, blah. And then that's it. And he's like, well, and once we give you the call, you have to be there in 10 minutes. It's like, well, since it's going to be a while before we make the deal, how about we all have a drink? And he's like, because we're not thirsty. I love that line. It's like, listen, the sooner we deal with you, the fucking better. We don't want to be around you any longer. So it's a good way of saying that without saying it. Nice subtext. And it sounds fucking cool on delivery as well. So yeah, we get these weird shots with the Crockett's theme playing, and then they do the deal.
Best location of the episode, by the way, guys. I mean, that is creepy. And
it is,
cool.
yeah. It's like
like just your old-fashioned, Voodoo Santeria, South Florida graveyard. It's like, for me, it's like, well, there's something you don't freaking see every day.
So PB has brought up a good point as well, because we mentioned about this whether it's shot in Colombia for real, but yeah, maybe this was shot in Puerto Rico. Then was the rest of the town that they do the deal in set in San Juan, Puerto Rico? Please let us know, PB. Please let us know.
Originally, they were supposed to have this.
I love that line as well. Yeah,
they were supposed to originally have this at a soccer game, and then wound up doing it here at the cemetery for the aesthetic.
It was a good aesthetic. You know what? Good choice. I don't know where this location was, but I don't think they left America ever to do this show. Like, they have enough environments in Florida that look different and look enough like South America that they don't have to do it. International filming of a U.S. TV show, it's maybe once. I mean, coming to New York for that 2-parter was about as much.
I don't think Puerto Rico would definitely qualify as international. Puerto Rico is still part of us, right?
No, but it's a major move for your entire. I mean, there's no film industry there that I could think of that you would be able to say okay, we need to rent your 60 trucks. We need your food guy.
Couldn't we just give them a bunch of bananas and stuff, and maybe some sunscreen?
Kung Fu has pointed out that we do guerrilla filmmaking on Miami Vice a lot. So if you were to tell me that they just went down there with the minimal crew and did what they had to do with a fistful of money and got out of there in one piece somehow, I would believe you. But I would tend to think that all these locations, having been down there, and you have too, you can vouch for this. Maybe we're not right, but we could find places that look just like this within 2 hours of Miami.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Plus,
That's
cemetery is
it's the only thing that's holding me back.
Plus, the cemetery is a good location as well. It kind of like foreshadows that, yeah, this deal is not going to go as smooth as you think it is. So they do the deal, obviously, and it's looking like it's smooth sailing from now. But then, is it Garcia's men that come down, or is it some other street bandits that were following him? I kind of think it was his men that are trying to sort of rob them so they can get the coke and the money at the same time. And obviously, they need to get the fuck out of there quickly because they're going to block the runway. So they get into a bit of a shootout, and and a few close calls. They get back on the plane. It's like, you can thank me later. And this is why it feels a bit more.
I thought a few double crosses came together at once. This was, I hate to invoke this, but the Force Awakens moment where two different criminal gangs jump Han Solo at once. Because remember, he's like, this is only a 1 hour TV show, and he's like quadruple crossed everyone, and so has Sonny, and so has Ricardo. So we don't know. Like, it's the convergence of baddies. It never gets explained. That's what I mean about the slight incohesion of this episode.
Yeah, well, that is one of the few bits that confuse me. But once again, if it does start to lose its track, it gets back on track straight away because you've got Smugglers Blues playing. I know you hate that song, but it just sounds so fucking cool, especially with all these sweeping shots, and it's and that's why
for the episode, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't think the episode is a pacing problem or a falling apart problem or stopping dead problem. Like, it moves along quickly. Like, he's aware that it's not cohesive, so he applies slightly more speed to the plot. It's like all of a sudden we see this dramatic, shot of the plane over the ocean, and we hand wave away some consequences kind of quick. That's the way we've been doing it so far this week.
Northern, is it me, or is a lot of Admiral Teague's complaints that he wants things to move at like breakneck speed for everything that he watches? There's an app called TikTok you can watch that you can get a lot of short form content in there a lot faster.
No, it'll just make you worse, man. It'll just make him worse. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. For the sake of your sanity and your attention span.
And by the way, our MV remastered, the Cartagena scenes were actually filmed in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Common Vice production trick. All right, well, I stand corrected, and thank you for bringing that to our conversation. We have the best chat. Thank you.
I know, yeah. Well, I do trust MV remastered and PB as well, because they seem to be really, really passionate about this show as well. And MV as well, he's still doing some good work, doing good music videos with I'm surprised you have you been getting copyrighted on that shit, because a lot of these bloody studios are proper assholes when it comes to copywriting. I mean, even if you record your child, dancing to a song, that studio will fucking demonetize you and lay a copyright claim or lawsuit on you. And it's
unless it's a short.
God, the studios are getting so petty. They really are.
Unless it's a short, yeah, it's too bad. And you're right. People have so much passion. I'm glad to get called out on the San Juan thing. I never would have expected it. And if you noticed, I'm getting better at this. I gave myself an out. I'm like, if you told me they did it, I wouldn't scoff. But we could definitely find locations that look like this. Like, I'm hedging on this one because they have pulled a few weird things.
Yeah. So this is when they make the drop as well, and this is why I kind of feel like it feels epic as well, because you've got all these great sweeping shots of the locations that's so high as well. It makes the episode feel very grand. It's like it's almost like the Lawrence of Arabia of Miami Vice episodes in a way, and at 48, and just at 48 minutes as well. So yeah, they make the drop with and Wavy Davy obviously gets in on it as well, and song plays, and once again it looks good. So, and then we get Sonny Crockett kind of whining that. It's like, we smuggled over 4 keys, nearly got shot up and robbed and all this other stuff, and do we get any help from our people on the side of the fence? It's like, no, you've agreed voluntarily to take
what's with the sand in Crockett's fucking vagina? He all of a sudden he's turning into fucking Hudson from Aliens. It's like, fucking 4 weeks and out, man. It was getting short too. I'm gonna buy it on this rock.
Over, man.
Where it's some real pretty shit now, Tubbs.
Yeah, even Tubbs kind of contributes to the one in a little bit. It's like, do we get help? No, sir. It's like, you volunteered for the mission. They said it was voluntary. They said that you would get no backup. You are on your own. You can't just whine about that. You took the risk. accept it. But then this fucking asshole, bloody Wavy Davy, is who's not found it, who's decided to rob them because he hasn't found his passion in Cameron's car yet. So he's
Ah.
yeah, and they're like, wow, what an asshole as well. They tried to rob him, and he's like, well, why don't you take some of the drugs? I mean, it's worth a lot more. It's like, well, we're not
in the drug business, man.
Yeah. So then just as Jimmy is driving up to him, they mention that they've got Trudy, that they've now kidnapped Trudy, and that they will let her go for like 500 grand if I remember correctly. And
I think so. Yeah.
Yep. And Jimmy, like a fucking boss, he comes through as well. I mean, even when they offer him a cut on the take, he's like, yeah, you get those motherfuckers, girl. They're my friends, okay? So they get into a cool shootout, and Tubbs pulls out the gun from the back, and he's like shooting the guy in the car, saying, get the hell out of my motherfucking car.
Thank God he bought his automatic. I just want to point out, if you notice the round headlines on the Jeep, the round headlights on the Jeep they bring there, that means it's still AMC before Chrysler acquired the company. After that, for about 15 years, they had square headlights, so that just kind of places it in time. This is something that we don't see again for like 15 years till they move back to the round headlights. So, a little bit of nostalgia there.
Nice. Yeah, you gotta go for the round headlights. It's classic.
They're much cooler. The square headlights on Jeeps just don't make sense.
Yeah, and this is where because a while back when I watched this, I thought like Glenn Frey's character had died, but no, he just got badly injured. But he's never seen again, though. Too. He's never seen again after this.
And not explained and not talked about. Yeah, they dropped the ball on this one.
But they do. Fault. No, I got to push back. They do explain and they do talk about it in the next season. They wanted to get Glenn Frey back for this.
I know that one, yeah.
But they couldn't because of his touring schedule, and the guy that they use winds up explaining, his character winds up explaining that Jimmy retired and he's living the life of leisure or whatever. So that's at least that's what I read in IMDb.
Yeah, we're probably still a while away then from that one. So
no, it's next year. No, it's next year.
Points on research, but we don't get it in this episode, so it is a flaw in the episode itself.
Oh well, okay, all right, fair play. The episode that sequel to this is called Trust Fund Pirates from '86.
Yeah, it was. You mentioned it before, like it was intended to be a sequel. So we've got Wavy Davy. They say they're expecting a call about the drop, and this is where we get to like really intense moment as well, where Trudy, they've managed to find a call from the motel and pinpoint to where the drop could be, and why does fucking Castillo not have Gina go in there to?
Because women need to know their limits, Northern.
Castillo's a man, isn't he? He's a fucking man, He comes from he's Latin and he's worked a lot in fucking Asian countries, so he knows that women should know their place. So God bless the Latins and Asians for keeping women in that.
He should have been like, listen, Gina, this is a hostage situation. Not a quinceañera. I don't need you involved.
No. I mean, it would kind of make sense as well because, she's kind of like the older sister to Trudy in a way as well, isn't she? But of course, it does still kind of work because Crockett has the Columbia to talk about to try and calm it, because this is a very delicate bomb as well. It's got these like vibration sort of mechanics and everything where the slightest thing can set it off. And it's like the bomb guy said, the slightest movement, whatever, then we'll wallpaper.
This is very much like in Michael Mann's cinematic career, but I would just want to say, if I could have, if I had to have a sister, could I have one like Trudy who gets like super strong hallucinogens from James Brown himself?
And I like the fact that they have to sort of like make sure like she doesn't shake her leg as well, because she's trembling as well. She's frightened.
Yeah. Hey, Trudy, you want to do me a favor? Do you mind not shaking that pretty leg of yours?
I know.
Oh, it's a really great line, actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to concentrate on not getting this blown up. Okay, you stupid woman. Stop shaking.
Yeah.
Bloody women being hysterical just because she's hooked
Bloody women. Yeah. That's why women and children are always evacuated from disasters first, so the men can figure out a solution in peace.
Yeah, Michael Mann with the man protecting the woman, and yeah, it kind of goes back to what you said, Toxic, as well. People protecting each other. So
yeah,
and plus we're kind of like 15 episodes in now. That people know the dynamic between these two. We know the relationship, and you know they've grown into the roles really well. And so Tubbs has to pretty much stall the guy until he can get Trudy out, but. The cop who's, well, we don't know he's a cop just yet, but the guy who's doing the drop, who's been doing these kidnappings, is like, don't stall, just do them fucking drops. So he knows he has to go in there and, you know, probably improvise. Once again, it takes its time a little bit as well while everyone's doing these slow movements. Sonny's trying to calm her nerves, talking about Colombia, saying how peaceful and nice and quiet it is, you know, even though it's definitely the opposite of what we've seen earlier. And we get a cool confrontation where it's like, fuck this, jumps onto the cigarette butt, and yeah, everyone surrounds you know, the bomber, and he's like, yeah, there's nowhere left to go, and it's like, screw this, screw all of you, and Tubbs just blasts him. But just before that, he presses the button, he blows up the trailer, but thankfully they managed to get Trudy out.
Yeah. Great stunt work as well with that leaping off the bridge onto the speedboat. That was incredible.
I also like that I also like the bad guy tried to kind of like compromise, and he's like, "Hey, all right, listen, this didn't work out. Can we just call it a day?"
That was a great.
All right,
line.
we'll call it a draw. Yeah, he did the old Black Knight Monty Python thing. All right, we'll call it a draw.
I'd like to point out though, like if anybody saw this differently, please help me out. There's no dead man switch on his device. In other words, he's not holding it down, and if you shoot him and he releases it, he'll die.
Yeah, correct.
So what happens is he says, "Don't F with me. I'll press this button." And Tubbs is like, "Don't press that button. I don't want to have to do it. I'll do it, man. I'll do it." And we do that whole cop thing. And then he's like, "Screw you, man. Screw you and screw the system." Click. And okay, at that moment, Tubbs knows that the device has been set off. There's nothing more he can do. So he just blows him away out of vengeance.
I mean,
there was nothing to be gained by shooting him. Like, he doesn't even shoot him in the leg. It's like center mass. Like, fuck you. No one jumps in the water to try to save him. It's like,
I definitely agree that at that range, what he should have done is try to hit him in the brachial nerve in the shoulder, and that would have fucking shut his fucking arm down, if nothing else. But, you know, whatever.
This was not a dead man switch. You probably, like, shoot him in the arm, hand. Like, I would have just, like, riddled him with bullets, hoping he dropped the fucking thing. I would have emptied my gun and let some rescue diver save him. They had, like, 5 snipers. They couldn't have a rescue diver. This was not an unavoidable detonation.
We're not at the have you seen the sunrise portion of the my device you know, criteria yet. We're not quite there yet. We'll get there though. We're gonna get there. Believe that.
Yeah. So the bomber is revealed to be this Agent Jones as well. You know, it's our Miami Dolphins fan. So he's a lieutenant, and Ed Waters really is trying to overthink it as well as like saying, well, what was the motivation between doing this? And Tubbs is like, money, money. And even Castillo's like, he pretty much agrees as well, because yeah, just fucking money. Sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one.
Yeah.
And it ends with a very nice little cool sort of laid-back acoustic version of Smugglers Blues, which, like you said in the chat, never got commercial release, and it would have been cool to have that. So there is...
I might be able to track it down, actually.
I bet
it's on YouTube. It is on YouTube, though, but it's only really a minute or so. That's it. It's not very
My guess is it's probably on a Miami Vice compilation or like
Glenn
outtake.
demo.
Yeah, Glenn Fry demo or Glenn Fry bonus material. It's out there somewhere. Everything this guy did, including his outgoing answering machine messages, has been put to music and sold for money. Hi, it's Glenn. I'm not here right now. You know what to do after the beep. It's like, number 1 for the 5th straight week, Glenn Fry. Leave a message after the beep.
Great episode as well. It's I can see why it's very highly rated, and it's definitely in the second half of the series where it's really found its feet. Now it knows what it knows what it is now. You know, it's blending the noir with the gritty, with also the colourful sort of like romanticism of the 80s as well. And also kind of being like something for the 80s generation to get hooked on as well. Just exploit the hell out of just how flamboyant the 80s is, while still giving us
generation ever.
Yeah, while still giving us some very sort of like grounded storylines, you know, where the characters with relatable characters and relatable struggles, whatever. It's and yeah, so Kung Fu Hot Dogs, since you are going to be hopping off in 20 minutes, I will let you go first on your overall opinion, your favorite regular character, favorite guest character, favorite music moment, favorite outfit, and your final rating. So,
I've got to say, regular character would have to be Tubbs in this one. He kind of had a lot to do in this episode. You know, even that emotional trauma in the prison where he gets slapped around by the guards, and he wanted to beat him up, and he can't do anything. So that was just really intense acting. I absolutely loved it. My favorite cameo is Richard Edson as Wavy Davy. You thought I was going to say Glenn Fry. No, he was great. But
it's good to have a bit. It's good to have a bit of variety here as well, because once again he plays a good Weasley character, doesn't he?
Yeah. Best outfit. I'm going to give one to Trudy, because at the beginning she's rocking that. I think it's a red dress, and she looks damn good. We don't see her again, but. Definitely Crockett in that outfit that he wears all throughout the rest of the episode. The white pants, I think it was a pink top or salmon maybe, and that jacket. Really, really good color combination. Props to the wardrobe department for doing that one.
Yeah, okay, nice one. And favorite music moment?
Oh, I've got to say maybe the intro. That's just like, I mean, they do overuse Smugglers Blues a little bit throughout, but I get it. But that beginning, that music interlude or the intro music is fantastic.
Yeah, great. It's a good one. So yeah, and your overall opinion on the episode itself then, and final rating?
So going back to something I meant. Oh, by the way, before I mention that, my favorite moment is an actual camera shot, which, funny enough, you actually skipped. Is when Castillo's saying to the two guys, do you want to take this deal or not? To Crockett and Tubbs. But there's a shot where Castillo walks to the side of Don Johnson, so it's their heads lined up at an angle. It's like a very deliberate choice by Paul Michael Glaser to do that, and it kind of stuck out to me. I thought, oh bloody hell, that's a really, really good framing of those two guys right there. It kind of presents conflict and what are you going to do next, sort of thing. But the overall tone of the episode, again, written by people who have lived experiences. Modern day writers don't live experiences. They struggle, ironically, as their writers, to make them up. Hey, MV Mastered, who could be driving an RV for all I know. But yeah, I would give this episode an absolute 7 espadrilles out of 7 espadrilles, and throw in a Rolex for good measure. Why don't you?
Yeah, thank you for that as well. So yeah, that you brought another good point about me missing some information. So yeah, if there's anything I've kind of accidentally missed out or left out, please let me know in the comments on the rewatch or even in the chat, because it's good to sort of like get as much information on this as well. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you can get involved in this as well. Please let me know your favorite quotes and outfits and regular character and that. So yeah, thank you very much, Kung Fu Hot Dogs. So my overall opinion on this, while not as emotional as the last episode, Smugglers Blues pretty much remains one of the highest episodes for a reason. It's well paced, well structured, and is given a high stakes plot where the pastel suited duo are left vulnerable in a crime ridden cesspit where danger is around every corner and the law is as crooked as the criminals. But it's cool that they adapt and prove to still get the job done, even with the odds massively against them. It's gritty, but also has that sense of adventure, and there's some great support from Richard Jenkins, Jamie Sanchez, and of course Glenn Frey as Jimmy. It's brooding and intense, but still isn't afraid to be stylish. Hell, it's even not afraid to show off its 80s coolness with no apologies. It feels like a Candy episode, but a Candy episode with a much more grander scale than most Candy episodes. And despite the episode's title, I guarantee this episode will not give you the blues, the Smugglers Blues. So yeah, that's my overall opinion. So Admiral Teague, overall opinion on the episode.
Okay, well, it was a great episode as far as carrying us along. Narratively, the story was good. We had a very strong performance by Glenn Fry in a dramatic role, which you didn't expect. I would say Sonny's electric blue blazer with, as Kung Fu said, I believe we would call that a salmon colored shirt, and with that
I
same
was thought
outfit
that
with
as
the
well.
white
I thought that. I
and
thought that as well.
everyone, and sometimes as well with the ice cream man pants, he would sometimes have that same jacket, but I think there's one sequence where he has a gold or bright yellow shirt in the same style, that weird sleeveless Henley where he has the 3 buttons but no sleeves that he seems to favor. And oh wow, hey PBE,
Oh yeah,
thank you
thanks for
so
sending those
much,
super
our
chat, man.
friend.
Yeah, nice one,
What
man.
a great gift. Thank you on behalf of the channel.
Another perfect podcast episode as usual. Yeah, you're a fucking star, man. You are. And if you know any trillionaires who's okay to lose $1 million and not feel a big hole in their pocket, just let them know, so I can get a quick pay and retire to Miami on an island somewhere. Who knows? But yeah, once again, thanks very much, man. It's greatly appreciated. Small contributions are still appreciated. Okay, and big or small, it doesn't matter. If you send a super chat, I'm very grateful. I am. So yeah, continue, Admiral Teague. I do apologize.
Not a problem. Hey, you know what? Taking a break to thank our wonderful supporters is something that I am always happy to do. They are the best, and we have the smartest chat here. They answered some questions for us and helped us out, spared us some research. This is a show for the fans, and, we're fans now, too. So sometimes he does wear a gold or bright yellow shirt with that same outfit, but yeah, that's the best outfit. As far as the problems or the emotional weight and pain that Jimmy has, I think the reason, Lord Toxic points out he could be a commercial pilot or anything like that. I think the deal is it was like he might have exceeded his orders more than a couple of times in Vietnam, and no airlines ever. It's like, yeah, Jimmy, if you hadn't have leveled those 18 villages they told you to break off the attack from, we might be able to have you going, but LA to Vegas. But this is, we're talking about thousands of dead civilians, and this was on the cover of Time magazine 4 or 5 days. You were lucky to get out of jail, Jimmy. You cannot be
anyone. Hey, in defense of
Jimmy.
In defense of Jimmy, anyone who runs is a VC. Anyone who stands still is a well-disciplined VC.
My father fought in Vietnam. I'm not trying to be glib here. Most of them fought with honor. I think that he just did something dishonorable, or that was perceived as dishonorable in Vietnam, that's preventing him from a more level-headed existence. He also has some trauma. We see him taking some pills. We don't find out what they are, but he doesn't seem like a recreational drug user at all. So out of... I think that some of the Castillo stuff might have been refilmed because of the way that Zito has appeared. I think that we had to go back there and do stuff that maybe Captain Rodriguez might have done, or someone else, or stuff that we put on hold and waited for a while to film later because we had most of an episode done. And I maintain that at some point when the ratings came in and people loved this show, the production got jumped out of order, and we can clearly see that with the growth of Zito's beard. Your beard doesn't ungrow and then jump back into like 5 weeks, worth of growth. They got an infusion of money, an infusion of higher quality writers. They have a bunch of great stories. And I guess the last thing I'll say is, once again, another great performance from a musician. They get it every time. Willie Nelson and El Viejo, even in like ungrounded and crazy episode with, is it Missing Hours with Trudy? James Brown is fine in that one. So like we always do good with the guys from Duran Duran and the Power Station do fine. Like we do good with the musicians in this one. We write to their strengths. So, I mean, this was a good episode, and I'm willing to give it 5 horribly radically shaped guitars out of 5.
Nice one. So you've just told us your regular character, guest character, all at once. Then
Did I blurt it all out at once again? I'm sorry. For not waiting for the prompt.
Yeah, I forgot to include the quotes as well. So Jesus Christ, sorry about that. That's my bad hosting skills. But Kung Fu Hot Dog, what was your quote on the episode though? Forgot to know.
Just off the top of my head, it will be when Tubbs is in the meeting with that guy, and he says, and the guy says to him, "Have you ever dealt with gringos? Have you ever dealt with Colombians?" I love that. That's really, really cool. Like, he just says it with such confidence. Like, yeah, what you gonna do, mofo?
Yeah. So, Tig, you've already mentioned your regular and guest character there already, and have you mentioned?
I don't know if I mentioned my regular characters. Actually, believe it or not, it's Trudy. I think she does fantastic acting while she's under stress. She's absolutely believable. She is not overly terrified. That would have been an easy scene to screw up. A lot of the episode turned on the importance of that scene. She gave a rock solid performance and was fantastic. I thought it was fantastic. Olivia Brown with the
she's a very underrated actress, actually.
Yeah,
very mysterious as well.
Fantastic job this week.
She's good.
She could have screwed this up. She could have gone full Fay Ray screaming. She kept the quiet tension, and she really wanted to live. She sold all of it. Fantastic.
I would have imagined that would have been show notes from Yerkovich and Mann, probably.
Well,
yeah.
Before I move on to Toxic, get your favorite music moment, outfit, and quote, and overall rating out the way, and I'll do mine last anyway. So yeah. Admiral T.
I apologize for train wrecking.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, we'll get off track and we'll just do that for now this week, then try and sort of like get it more structured again, like usual. But yeah, music moment, quote, favorite outfit, and overall rating.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, no, it's Admiral Teague, and then I'll move on to you, and you can get all that out.
The music moment will be the Smugglers Blues Jam. Best outfit is definitely Sonny's outfit with the electric blue jacket and either the salmon or gold shirt. Both are great with the white pants. Best regular, Trudy. Best guest star. You got to give it to Fry. He comes in with a fantastic performance. Best song, the jam on the Smugglers Blues alternate.
Okay, nice one. And favorite quote and overall rating?
This one wasn't very quotable. I'm not going to lie.
Maybe just,
I'm going to go with, I don't like violence, man, while he's holding a machine gun.
Yeah, that's a good quote. Overall rating, then?
I'm going to give it 5 radically shaped 80s guitars out of 5. I thought it was at least a lot of fun. You could pick some nits, but they're only nitpicking. This episode's very solid.
Okay, thanks very much. So, Lord Toxic, overall opinion, favorite regular character, guest character, music moment, outfit, and quote, and overall rating.
Yeah, so just overall, I like the episode. I like it more now that I understand it better, and that's why we do these rewatches, so you can kind of delve into it. I definitely did not catch all of the similarities between the 2006 movie, remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, and the this episode. But I mean, to include but not limited to, I told you I'd summarize all the similarities. I'll give it to you really quick in a little 30-second diatribe. Starts out where you have the nefarious forces are using a low-level criminal to kind of extort them for money because they have nobody else that they can go to. And of course, it goes badly. The cops get involved. They get brought in by another agency to kind of go rogue and be an off-the-books mission where they're going to have to go to a foreign country in order to accomplish said mission. Trudy gets kidnapped and used as bait with the use of an explosive device. The whole scene, the second scene that they have with the antagonist is exactly similar to the Nero scene that they have in the 2006 movie, including their little standoff that they have, and even some of the dialogue, which is we can get down when we need to get down. And of course, the Tubbs having that we could close each other's eyes real fast, but we won't make any money. So, listen, if you're gonna rip off something great, and I guess that's what they accomplished with the 2006 film. As far as what I thought of the episode overall, with that very brief exception of that one scene that kind of didn't ring true, where they had to get on top of an informant in order to get their bona fides made. With that exception, it's pretty flawless. Glenn Fry's acting's not super great, but it doesn't really need to be for what it is that they limited what he needed to do. my favorite outfit, I got to go with Glenn Fry. If you see, I have a tendency when I'm not at work to rock the flowery type shirts. I didn't wear them for this episode. I really wear shirts like this a lot. I like them. They feel good in the this kind of weather. They look good with my particular skin tone and white hair. It makes me look like a fat retired guy, which is basically what I am. So, and it hides your gun real good too. So that's all.
Yeah,
all
I can see you sitting in the bar saying, "Spies, bunch of bitchy little girls, huh?"
Guys, bunch of bitchy little girls. Yeah, fact.
A lot of great Guiaberas in this episode too, from all the Spanish guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as far as favorite dialogue, well, actually, first I'll say my favorite mainstay character. It's always going to be Castillo for me. It's going to be very rare that a mainstay character is going to be outdid by the great Edward James Olmos for me, because almost everything he lends the reality of the show to me so much, and I love everything that he does. Beyond that, supporting character, it's kind of a tie between the DEA agent Richard Jenkins and Glenn Fry. It's slightly edged out by Richard Jenkins just because he can actually act, and unfortunately, as charming as Glenn Fry is and as amazing as the artist he is and well-written character he has, his acting was a little subpar. So I got to kind of give it to Richard Jenkins for this episode as far as guest appearance. And favorite line is not to be found on IMDb, but I was right in the middle of finishing up washing dishes and heard the line during the, where Tubbs is kind of at wit's end trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do here, Lieutenant? Give me some moves. Tell me what to. And Castillo, always the stoic, is like, you're there and I'm not. Make a decision.
You need to topple a country's government? Go ahead. I'll file the paperwork in the morning.
I'll back you either way. And that kind of sums up his character. And I remember I literally stopped washing the dishes and just started laughing because he had cracked me up so much with that one. You're there and I'm not. Make the call. And that's such a Castillo thing to say. So yeah, overall ratings, I give it 5 submachine guns, 5 SMGs out of SMGs for this episode. It's really great. I love it. So yeah.
Tox, quick question. Do you want to give honorable mention to that awesome Hawaiian style variant shirt that Zito had? That was amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, did you guys know that right before this, John Deal was in a semi-professional boxing match and knocked the dude out?
Well, I didn't know.
No, I couldn't believe it. He comes across so nice and mild-mannered. I can't believe him getting that fired up.
Yeah, no, he was actually in a semi-professional boxing match. For whatever reason, he decided to do that as, I don't know, a side hustle or something, and he knocked the fucking dude out in the first round.
I think that's why he was so good in that episode, in his very last episode as well, because he does come across a guy that knows the sport and has a passion for it, and he's not acting; he's really getting into that role there. So
yeah,
and it's funny because he
that's
plays.
How he got the part.
It's funny because he plays such a likable goofball in this series as well, and to think that he's can be a bit of a fucking hard bastard when he needs to be is always awesome,
Well, he proved that on The Shield, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he plays right piece of work in that fucking series. But man, he's good in it though. He is.
Plus he let Nicolas Cage take a 7-year fall for a justifiable homicide in Con Air.
Yeah, terrible lawyer. Good actor, terrible lawyer.
Terrible lawyer. Don't let him be your lawyer.
He's great in Gettysburg too, in a pivotal role. Deal's great actor.
Yeah. So I'm going to be going on to my regular characters and guest characters, and you know the drill. So as much as I love Sonny being a good loyal partner, as well as a loyal friend to Trudy when she's in danger, I got to go for Tubbs as the regular character because he's the one that doesn't fuck about. He's slick and he's dangerous enough not to let Rocio gain the upper hand in the deal. He knows he's up against a ruthless bastard. So yeah, I'm going to play as even more ruthless bastard to let him know I'm not fucking about, and I kind of love him for that. And even when he's stripped half naked and he's in a cell being harassed by crooked coppers, he still never loses his cool as well. He still stays stoic and focused on what he needs to do. And he looks cool in his double-breasted suit. And Yeah, and there's one cop you won't buy your side when dealing with ruthless scumbag drug dealers who are trying to get the upper hand in negotiating a deal. So I'll go from there. And a regular character, yeah, it's obvious. I'm going to go for Jimmy, played by Glenn Frey, who, despite not being the best actor, still really convinces us this guy who's seen a bit too much and lost enough friends to not get close with anyone, and is happy just being this small-time smuggler who's happy to be paid and do the job and keep his head down. And the fact that he loves planes more than people also makes him a little bit charming. Even though he smuggles, he still prefers to keep his head down. He's cynical, but also has this sort of like spiritual, poetic, laid-back outlook. Like he knows his next job could be his last. And despite being the type of guy who's always out for number one, he shows he isn't as cynical as he's made out to be, and he's willing to keep his head, and he's willing to risk his safety for Sonny in the end and redeem himself after knowing that he's willing to risk his life for his friend, even in this big cesspit of a city that could have them killed any second. So his character development, despite its minimal screen time, feels consistent and never rushed. It's a shame he never returned, but to be honest, maybe it is for the best, as I doubt he could ever top his appearance here as he did in this episode. So rest in peace, Glenn Frey. Your solo stuff, apart from the heat is on, does deserve a little bit more love. But and I'll go for best outfits. It is hard to say, but between Sonny's royal blue, salmon-coloured Henley with white slacks and basket-woven loafers and Tubbs' immaculate double-breasted. So I will go for Glenn Frey's down-dressed veteran 10 smuggler Hawaiian shirt look with the tan slacks and army boots. It looks more like he's dressed for comfort, yet he really pulls it off. And man, he knows how to sling that Hawaiian shirt, and he knows how to pull it off. So yeah, I'll go for his look on there. And for best music moment, yeah, it's Smugglers Blues, because apart from the fact it inspired the episode, it's just a badass song, mixing both guitar riffs with the down and dirty three-chord blues that complement Frey's aggressive vocals. It matches the style of the episode, as well as conveying the danger our characters are thrown in. It's a song that adds excitement and kind of just gets you pumped, and it's pretty easy to play on guitar as well. So I'm a little biased on there because I play guitar, and I play it when I get the chance, and I sing badly, but I'm okay at playing it. So best quote: "I'd like to take one last goodbye look at America in case it's my last." Because yeah, sometimes you just got to live every day to your last and take risks, even though it could mean you not seeing the next sunrise in ever. So that's my take on the everything on the episode, from guest character to music moment and quote, and final rating: 5 guitar wielding Jimmys out of 5. So that's my final rating now. So yeah, it's Toxic gone, man. Where's he gone?
Yeah,
he's long down.
Yeah, let's have a look anyway. Sometimes he does that. He's got because he's got get a haircut before work. So yeah, he's off to work to maybe deal with some more transients outside the hotel. Who knows? So and
I
that's
sent
it.
extra money down to the city to have the transients go to the hotel to bother him. He can't just be sitting on his laurels all day watching TV on his phone.
Yeah, I know, and but yeah. Well, unfortunately, that is the end of the show now. And thank you very much, Admiral Teague and Kung Fu Hot Dog. This has been a great episode, and I think next episode is it right? Is it the one with Pam Grier? I'm gonna have to look it up anyway. Jesus Christ, I'm kind of like inconsistent with the episodes. I need to look them up actually.
It's cool. We can be all like pumped up to find out what the mystery is from 40 years ago for next week.
Yeah, actually, just look it up. Just give me a second on my YouTube. It's scheduled. It's publicly open. So let's go back on my channel. Come on.
So I've been Kung Fu. Whoa, wait. Now you doing my
a little bit of Kung Fu. Yeah. So next episode will be it's the Pam Grier episode. Rites of Passage. So that's not a bad one as well. You got John Turturro as the villain. You got Pam Grier on there as well, kicking ass. So that'll be a pretty decent episode.
I remember the episode.
Yeah. Bit of a downer ending though, but that's Miami Vice. Sometimes you will get these nihilistic endings, which I always love, by the way. But so thank you very much, Admiral Teague and Kung Fu Hot Dog and Lord Toxic. Joshua Floors, MV Remastered, PB, and Gavin Unit, and Shut Up Matt, and who else?
And Davy Dread.
Davy Dread, yes, that's it. Davy Dread. Wavy Davy Dread, okay?
Thanks,
named after the character. So Anyone else? No, that should be it now. And Cosmic Holder as well. Thank you very much. You're all being appreciated, and thank you for the super chat, PB. You're an absolute star, and do share this channel. Do subscribe to my panelists if you haven't already, and whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not. Thanks for watching. But right now, that's us done, and we're off to the pub. Stay infidel, my friends. Stay infidel
Bye,
and proud.
guys.